Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. This is part 3 of my coverage on Fox's and Tucker Carlson's investigation on the released video from the January 6th committee. So rather than listen to me, Babylon, let's get right to it.
Away from the corpus of footage that we spent 3 weeks looking at, it's that the January 6th committee lied. Its members are liars. And as the result of those lies, core civil liberties in this country were eroded. People went to prison. They're in prison as of right now, unjustly. So those lies had consequences. So you have to ask yourself, whatever happened to the members of the January 6th committee? These liars who hurt people and the country. Well, let's see. Adam Schiff is running for Senate. Adam Kinzinger got a job at CNN. Liz Cheney somehow wound up a professor at the University of Virginia, the august University of Virginia. They're all still there. Benny Thompson, ooh, listen to his wisdom, but they're liars. And above all, this video proves it. Here's another installment. One of the enduring mysteries of January 6th is the role that intelligence and law enforcement agencies played in the events of that day. We know there was some number of undercover federal agents in the crowd at the Capitol. Officials have since admitted that under oath. But what exactly were they doing there? The January 6th committee worked hard to hide the answer to that question. We do know from contemporaneous videotape that a mysterious figure called Ray Epps encouraged the crowd to go into the Capitol. For some reason, Epps has never been indicted for that.
Now, the funny part is there's several. Brendan Strock, for one. He was outside, not the entrance where there was rioting, where people just walking. He was outside actually filming. Brandon Strock is head of the walkaway movement. He's a gay man from New York that used to be an ultra-progressive liberal that when Trump got elected, he saw the light. And so he converted tens of thousands of Democrats to the Republican Party. And for Trump, he was outside the building, saying nothing, doing nothing, but filming with his phone. And he had to plead guilty to charges rather than go to trial and face 20 years. Well, this guy, Ray Epps, says, well, I never won the Capitol, so I didn't commit a crime. Well, neither did Brandon Strock. And there he is. And he walked away after being interviewed.
No question, he did it.
We need to go into the Capitol!
Under public pressure, the January 6th committee finally interviewed Ray Epps. Epps told the committee that he never entered the Capitol and therefore never committed a crime. His text messages showed that at 2:12 p.m., he boasted to his nephew that he had, quote, orchestrated the protests at the Capitol. He admitted he helped get people there. Yet, curiously, congressional Democrats consider Ray Epps an ally, not an insurrectionist.
Because he was. Because the Democrats, like I said, I think it's evil what they did. But as far as politics go and public relations, the Democrats played this beautifully. God knows how many people were in that crowd to instigate. Does that say it's okay for what they did, the people that destroyed property and busted the windows? No. But I do have to say, though, they fell right into the Democrat trap. Because they were upset and they were PO'd and they were showing their anger and frustration. And I have to say, in all fairness, this is what happens when you ignore millions and millions of Americans and what they think. They react in frustration and anger. Let's listen on.
Tonight we can tell you that at the very least, Ray Epps lied in his sworn testimony to the January 6th committee. Epps testified that when he sent the text messages to his nephew, he had already left the Capitol grounds to return to his hotel room. That is not true. The surveillance footage we found shows that, in fact, Ray Epps remained at the Capitol for at least another half an hour. You're seeing that on your screen now. What was Epps doing there? We can't say, but we do know that he lied to investigators. The January 6th committee likely knew this too. Democrats had access to the same tape. Yet they defended Ray Epps. No honest investigation would do that. But the point of the January 6th committee was never to investigate anything. The point was to stage a made-for-TV show trial.
Exactly right. A made-for-TV show trial. And as you can see there, Kissinger and Cheney, the only two Republicans on there. Now, this committee is supposed to be, since the Democrats back then had the majority, they were the majority of one. But they got rid of all the Republicans and picked Cheney and Kissinger, huge anti-Trump Republicans. And that supposedly made it fair. This whole thing was a farce from the beginning. And they're screaming election deniers. Well, you see in the middle there, Benny Thompson, Congressman Thompson, with a suit on sitting right in the middle. He's the chairman. There's tons of videos from past presidential elections where Republicans won and Benny Thompson screamed, no, the election is unfair. He was an election denier for years and years and years. Now you're going to see Benny Thompson make an opening statement as chairman. And look what the hell he talks about. Let's listen.
January 6th.
I'm from a part of the country where people justify the actions of slavery, the Ku Klux Klan, and lynching.
How staged and fraudulent was the work of the January 6th committee?
What the hell does that have to do with the so-called insurrection / riot on January 6th? Absolutely nothing. All theatrics. And I tell you the truth, to a certain extent, it worked beautifully. They even hired this guy.
Democrats hired a Good Morning America producer called James Goldston to dramatize the footage they released. They even dubbed in audio to make the pictures more sensational, as in a docudrama. The networks...
Yeah, they actually showed these videos, but the crowd noise, the screaming, the hollering, the sound of thousands and thousands of people was dubbed in after. That's actually true. So when these videos went round and round and round on all the media, mainstream media as well as social media, that crowd noise was also put in, even though that wasn't an accurate depiction of what happened for the crowd noise.
Carried it all live as if it were real. But Donald Trump was far from the only target.
The enemy is within the House of Representatives.
Within hours of January 6, Democrats alleged a conspiracy. They claimed their Republican colleagues had helped to plan the breach of the Capitol building. There was never any evidence this was true, none at all.
Zero evidence that any member of Congress or the U.S. Senate helped with the breach of the Capitol / riot. Zero evidence. Not even an insinuation or an innuendo. Just them running their mouths, outright lying.
Yet it was widely repeated.
Our colleagues are continuing to engage with white nationalist extremist groups, the most violent attack on the Capitol since the War of 1812.
At one point, the January 6th committee publicly accused Republican Congressman Barry Laudermilk of Georgia of leading a reconnaissance mission through the Capitol building the day before.
They were looking for some member of Congress that was involved in all this.
The surveillance tape that we reviewed shows this story is a lie, and the Democrats on the committee knew it was a lie when they told it. The so-called reconnaissance mission Democrats alleged was nothing more than Congressman Laudermilk giving a guided tour to his constituents from Georgia, none of whom were, quote, insurrectionists. Laudermilk didn't even take the group inside the Capitol building. They walked through a congressional office building down the street.
Yeah, they were on a reconnaissance mission to get the layout of the Capitol before the insurrection. Well, this guy must be a total fool because they weren't even in the Capitol building, but the truth didn't matter.
The FBI totally cleared them. The committee knew this before they actually made their accusations against me. They wanted to create this story that would, fit where they wanted the evidence to lead.
Despite the video evidence they possessed proving it wasn't true, the committee included the lie in its final report. Protesters, it says dramatically, quote, took a tour of the Capitol with Representative Barry Laudermilk, during which he took pictures of hallways and staircases.
Yeah, it's incredible to me. In their final report, It was in the Rayburn building, which is not the U.S. Capitol. It's the office building. It's incredible to me, incredible.
Office holders of planning riots on January 6th. It was accusing them of running away from those riots like cowards. In the case of Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri, the committee and their allies accused him of both.
Watch, they're going to show Hawley going across the hallway when they were clearing out the senators, the Capitol Police. And they edit the video to make him look like a coward. Watch this.
Josh Hawley is a...
To prove that Josh Hawley was a coward, the committee released video of him loping out of the building on the afternoon of January 6th with a police escort. The tape became a staple on social media. Democrats laughed with derision.
Later that day, Senator Hawley fled after those protesters he helped to rile up stormed the Capitol. See for yourself.
Now look at everybody laughing. That's not what really happened. It's edited video. And look at him chuckling. Hawley, what a coward piece of crap. Now watch the real video.
But in fact, the surveillance footage we reviewed shows that famous clip was a sham, edited deceptively by the January 6th committee. The clip was propaganda, not evidence. The actual videotape shows that Hawley was one of many lawmakers being ushered out of the building by Capitol Hill police officers. And in fact, Hawley was at the back of the pack. The coward tape was a lie, one of many from the January 6th committee.
So if they're looking for credibility, this is what they did. This is what they did, and put it in their final report.
One of many is for certain. Thomas Massie serves in the Congress. He did then, he does now. He represents the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on. I have never seen members of Congress accuse the other, I mean, there's usually a kind of fraternity in the Congress. You're all members of Congress, 435, accuse their colleagues unfairly, without any evidence at all, of committing felonies. What's your response to this, to the lying from your colleagues in the Congress?
Yeah, rather than go in, even though I do like Massey, this is what happened. They took everything and just twisted it. At best, the vast majority was straight out lies. Straight out lies.
But we have more, and we're going to show it to you tomorrow. More surveillance footage from January 6th, including an interview with a top Capitol police officer who was there and who raises a lot of pretty shocking questions about the Capitol Police response to January 6th. And keep in mind, the Capitol Police, as a force, is controlled by the Speaker of the House. And at that point, it was Nancy Pelosi.
So we're going to leave it at that. It's just amazing to me. It truly, truly is. This whole entire thing. And then they impeached Trump again over this. What a group of scumbags. And I was a Democrat my whole life. I was a local elected official here in upstate New York in the early 2000s as a Democrat. I'm no longer. I left the party many years ago. Long before they got this crazy. They were crazy enough when I left. They have lost their minds. When you continuously lie, I don't mean stretch the truth like the edited video. I mean outright lie and look so sincere, knowing it's not true, makes you a sociopath. Pure and simple. So this is the end of part 3. Look for some other parts that are coming up. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck and God bless America.